All right, let's talk about the IB Chemistry internal assessment. I know, for a lot of students, it can feel like this giant, impossible mountain to climb. But honestly, it's also your single biggest opportunity to shine. So in this breakdown, we're going to walk through the whole process, step by step, and give you a ton of ideas to get you started. Let's do this.
So here's our game plan. First, we're going to figure out what the IA really is. Then I'll give you a super clear 6-step process to follow. After that, the fun part, we'll dive into a bunch of project ideas to get your own creativity flowing. And we'll wrap up with some final tips to make sure you absolutely nail it. And let's just be real for a second. The Chemistry IA is intimidating. I mean, it's a huge project. If you're kind of staring at a blank document and have no idea where to even start, trust me, you are not the only one feeling that way. And there's a really good reason it feels like such a big deal. Because it is. This single project is worth a full 20% of your final IB chemistry grade. That is a massive chunk of your final score, and that's exactly why we're going to figure out how to do it and do it well. Okay, so let's start at square one. What even is the IB Chemistry IA? Forget the grade for a moment. What is its actual purpose? What is the IB really trying to see if you can do? At its core, the IA is your chance to stop being just a student and start thinking like a real scientist. Seriously, this isn't about spitting back facts from a textbook. It's about you asking your own original question, designing your own experiment to test it, and then using your own data to build a solid answer. It's where you prove you can actually do chemistry. You know, the best way to make a huge project feel small is to break it into pieces. So instead of thinking about this as one massive report, let's map out the entire journey as a clear 6-step process. When you see it like this, it's way more manageable. So let's walk through it. Number 1, it all begins with your research question. This has to be focused and clear. It's the foundation of everything. 2, you do your background research to see what's already known. 3, you design your experiment. Think variables, controls, procedures, the whole shebang. 4, you hit the lab. You collect your data and then you crunch the numbers. 5, you evaluate your results. What do they actually mean? What went wrong? And finally, step 6, you put it all together into a killer scientific report. See? Each step just flows right into the next. Okay, you've got the 6 steps. You know the how. But now for the big question. What on earth do you actually investigate? Coming up with a good research question can honestly be the hardest part. So, to help you out, we've put together 20 different ideas to use as a starting point. First up, let's look at the world around us. Environmental chemistry is an absolute goldmine for IA topics that are not only fascinating but also super relevant to real-world issues. Just look at all these possibilities. You could investigate something like how the concentration of salt in water affects plant growth, or maybe test how well different paint pigments hold up against UV light. You could even compare different ways to purify water. The key here is to find a real problem that you genuinely find interesting and then narrow it down to a testable question. You know, some of the best chemistry doesn't happen in a fancy lab. It happens in your kitchen, in your garden, even inside your own body. So this next batch of ideas connects chemistry directly to your everyday life. I love this category because it shows you can find amazing topics literally in your house. Ever wonder which brand of soap actually kills more bacteria? Or how you can keep the most vitamin C in your orange juice when you store it. You could even compare the mineral content in different brands of bottled water. The chemistry is all around you. And finally, you can always go straight to the source. You can take one of the core ideas you're learning about in your IB chemistry class and just dig deeper. This is a great way to show you've really mastered the fundamentals. These topics are pulled right out of your textbook, and that's a good thing. It's a fantastic chance to take a concept like, say, reaction kinetics and explore it yourself. For instance, you could design a super precise experiment to measure exactly how changing the temperature affects the rate of a reaction. This is your chance to prove you don't just know the theory, you can apply it. So, you've got the process, you've got a ton of ideas, you're ready to go. But before you dive in, let's quickly cover 5 final tips. These are the things that really separate a good IA from a truly great one. At the end of the day, a successful IA really comes down to this, a mix of creativity and discipline. You need that spark of an original question, but you also need a rock-solid plan. You need to be disciplined and manage your time, but also creative when you're analyzing your data. And probably the most important thing, don't be afraid to ask for help. Your teacher is your single best resource. Use them.
So there you have it. We've talked about the what, the how, and the why. We've looked at ideas everywhere from the environment to your kitchen cabinet. Now, the journey is officially yours. The only question left is, what problem are you going to solve?